Whoa. I love it. Look at that thing. What a bass. Look at that thing.
Coming up. On this week's episode, Bob travels to Kingston, Ontario to fish for smallmouth bass in the shallows. In Ontario and the Great Lakes, there are many opportunities for great bass fishing, and Bob shows some techniques and locations for catching them. Sight fishing around shallow boulders, rocky shorelines, and weed mats. Bob covers them all in search of some big bass action.
Wow. Thump, thump, thump. Here we go, boys. That is awesome.
Look at that magnificent fish. Way down there.
Isn't that sweet? Look at the size of that fish.
There he is again.
The color is incredible. Yeah, that's a nice one.
The Real Fishing Show with Bob Izumi.
All right. That is a big rainbow trout, Chris. Double headers. Whoa!
Nice jump.
Yeah. All right. Man, that is so cool. Another one, there we go. All right. Look at that chunk.
Real Fishing is sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water, and Tim Hortons.
On the Real Fishing Show, we make catching fish like this a possibility. Oh, he's got it. Oh, here we go. Come on in. Just hoist him in. Not a real big fish, but this backslide, it's a Havoc backslide, very unique bait that this fish hit. And just gonna pop out this hook, just using a little wide gap hook here on this very unique bait, and it's heavily weighted in the rear end of this bait so that it falls backwards in the water column. And what I've got is a little ultra tungsten nail in the back of this, and I'll show you one right here. Here's just a couple of them. They're just a little tungsten nail, and I stuck it in the tail because it's kind of choppy out here, and we're gonna be doing some Great Lakes smallmouth fishing today by you know, fishing crystal clear water, covering water, and it's just beautiful out here. It's a warm day, got a pretty good breeze going, probably about a 10-mile-an-hour breeze out here, and I think we're gonna catch a ton of fish. It's the first part of July. Oh, there we go. Oh, look at the size of this baby. This one here's a good one, but we've had a really warm spring, but then it got cold again a number of times, and so there's all kinds of fish in shallow water, and a lot of big fish. Record weights have been caught in the tournaments this year so far during our opening of bass season here in Ontario. And speaking of Ontario, today I'm on Lake Ontario. It's one of my favorite places to fish. Over the years, I've had a lot of good tournament finishes here. And there we go. Look at that. Hooked right through the nose. Just a little piercing. And once again, this crystal clear water, I like to finesse these fish with a lot of your subtle colors. This is a cucumber here. That's the name of this this color of a Havoc backslide. And it's subtle. Okay, let's see if we can't cover a little water with the electric motor here and see if there's any other of his buddies around. Okay. There we go. Whoa. I love it. I love it. You know, it's cool today because what I'm doing in the clear water is just switching up with different baits. In clear water, the fish can see. And so in a lot of cases, longer casts, lighter line, and in subtle colors work best. This is a good one right here. Come on, baby. That's a big old fish right there. Get him. Yeah. All right. And you know, these fish here are just, they're amazing. Look at that thing. That's a block. That's a Lake Ontario block. And it doesn't really matter where you fish around the Great Lakes in the province of Ontario, there are smallmouth opportunities. In the last number of years, they've just gotten bigger and bigger. Awesome.
When we return, more bass techniques that anyone can fish here on Real Fishing. Stay tuned. Closed captioning is brought to you by BoaterExam.com. Let's take a look down under with this week's Fish Eye View, sponsored by Toro. Count on it. By definition, underwater structure is a change in surrounding topography, while cover refers to features that provide shade and security. Fishing or filming, if you can see them, it stands to reason they can see you. To overcome this problem, simply put some form of underwater cover between yourself and the fish. Strange as it may seem, it doesn't have to be much. A single rock, branch, or strand of weed is enough to allow you this close to most elusive fish out there. Even though you're still visible, there's a calming effect. It's like a security blanket to the fish. That's how we're able to get shots like these. Now, watch our drifting bait, refused until it reaches the comfort zone of that very same patch of debris. Here it is again. Next drift, same thing. It's just that dramatic. Without question, the very best overhead cover is man-made. While respecting private property, docks, anchored boats, and boathouses are classic places to find fish on any lake. Bear in mind, these are wild fish on a pressured cottage lake, and certainly not pet fish at the dock. Even so, this is exactly how we're able to film in this situation. Bottom line is, when you put the right type of cover between yourself and the fish, you can get away with anything.
When you spend as much time in the outdoors as I do, you certainly are exposed to all kinds of things. As much as I love my fishing, there is so much more to see when it comes to nature. Whether it's offshore, in the air, or in the water, there are always some interesting creatures around. This day there were lots of things to see all around me, which made the bass catching all that much more spectacular. Fish, he's swimming with it. Oh, he dropped it. He's got it again. Oh. Oh, there he's got it. Oh, yeah. That's funny. That's one of the cool things about a lightweight rig like I'm using here is they'll actually come back for it. So a lot of times what'll happen is if you miss it, just let it quiver back down, and that sort of weightlessness, just sort of quivering action is something that just drives them crazy. Yeah, that's a good one here. Oh boy. I didn't bring a landing net today since I'm just fun fishing. Okay. All right. Not a bad fish. And you see that's a block, right? It's just so thick. A lot of weight to these fish. Very thick. Just pop this hook out. He wasn't getting off, that's for sure. There we go. All righty. And once again, look at this. Very cool. Now, what you can do is take an O-ring and slide it over, a rubber O-ring, and slide it over and then hook the O-ring with your hook. But what I'm doing today is I'm just hooking it right through here. And that's all a wacky rig is right there. And that's that Havoc Flat Dog. Very cool. Okay. There we go. There's got to be a school of bass down there. There's got to be 50 or 100 down there. following this fish. They're all over the place. Look at them. They're all over up on the sand and the limestone. They're just in so thick that it's incredible. And this little guy here was probably one of the smaller ones in that whole school. I couldn't believe how many are in there though. This would be one of those techniques that, oh, here's one going, that really anybody can fish. You can take a beginner out and give them a wacky worm and let the fish swim with it like it's doing now and just set the hook. It's just crazy how easy it is to fish a wacky rig like I'm doing. And this bait's got some salt in it. Oh, this is a pretty big fish too. This is a very big fish. The fish really do hold on to it. There's a whole pile of fish following this one again. There's a bunch down there, but this is a definite horse right here. This is a nice one. There's a whole pile of fish following. Come here, baby. It's one of the easiest techniques to do though. Just cast it out and let the fish eat it. Oh, I just broke it off. Well, I just got that line wrapped around my finger. One thing you should be careful. Now, it'd be a lot easier if I had a net today, but you know what? I didn't bring one because I didn't think I'd need it. But in hindsight, a net is handy.
Switching it up and being ready is key to catching more fish when we return. Stay tuned. This tip of the week is sponsored by Coleman, the outdoor company.
I'm covering some water, and you know, folks, that one thing I do a lot of when I'm fishing is cover water. Now, my tournament fishing years have really taught me that whenever I get on a body of water, whether it's a new body that I've never been on before or a lake that I've been on many times, what I like to do is put the electric motor down. And now this is a 36-volt motor guide on the bow of this Ranger, and I like to put the odds in my favor by using the electric motor and fishing as many different types of things as I can till I figure out what the fish are doing on that particular day. So right now I'm just spinner baiting along, trying to find out if the fish are on the sand, or maybe they're in the weeds, or maybe they're on the edge of the weeds, or maybe they're on the boulders and rocks. The fact is that with a powerful electric motor, you can cover water, do it efficiently, and find the fish faster. You know, I'm seeing smallmouth cruising around here, and there's, you know, 3 or 4 big ones cruising around. So what's important is to be ready, and I've got 4 different rods rigged up. I've got a traditional tube, and I've got a little Berkeley power tube. This is another one here. It's a wacky rig, and it's a Havoc flat dog. I've got another drop shot rig and another tube that's a different color. And one of the keys is just being able to switch up and grab another rod. So if you see a fish follow but he doesn't eat your bait, then you might just want to pitch up something different. So in this case, you know, a little power tube. And one of the things about it is like being ready. It's like going golfing, you know, having all your different clubs ready. You just want to be ready when you see the fish. Whoa. Alrighty. This one came and nailed it, and I'm fishing outside of Kingston, Ontario, on Lake Ontario, and there's no question the good old tube is one of the most incredible lures for catching smallmouth bass. And in this case here, I just got the good old standby. It's a Berkeley power tube, and oh, look at that. And this is just one they've had for years and years and years. And it's a tube that you can fish in shallow water and 4 or 5 feet of water, even 2 feet of water, or in deep water. That's one of your typical giant Lake Ontario fish that are common throughout the Great Lakes. And this Just put her back in. All right. I like to give it a little spray too. I've got some Gulp Alive spray, and there's no question that scent gives you that little bit of an advantage. It might be a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% advantage where the fish holds on to it a little bit longer. Kind of like putting gravy on your potatoes. Oh, there we go. Whoa, whoa. Look at the size of that big old smallmouth there. All right. Very cool. I don't know why you get black ones and you get lighter colored smallmouth. Some say the black ones come out of deeper water. It's pretty common around the Great Lakes to get big black ones like this, and then to go into an area and get light colored ones as well. But these ones in shallow water stick out like a sore thumb so easily. And this is a really big fish here. This is a nice one. That's an old fish too, and one thing about it is you got to put these big fish back. I mean, that's probably a 4-pound fish, and important to put them back in the water. And as you can see, I just love holding them like this. Alrighty, lots of fun.
Sight fishing in clear water techniques that up the odds for big bass action when we return. Stay tuned.
Okay, it's sinking. Oh, one's got it. He's got it. There we go. All right. Wacky worming is just incredible because it's so easy to do. What you want to do is just throw it out, let it sink down and quiver. This is a pretty cool bait here. It's a Berkeley Havoc flat dog. It's just gonna pop right out, and I've got a tandem hook on there with an O-ring, and that's pretty good smallmouth right there. Wow, that's not bad. So I'm just gonna put this one back here. Look at that. Cool. When I'm on flats for largemouth or smallmouth is I'll blind cast this. I'll just make long casts and blind cast around and just cover the water. Okay, just gonna re-rig that. You know, one of the cool things about sight fishing in clear water, or fishing just shallow clear water, is if you see a boulder, cast to it. If you see anything different in the water, like a dark patch of moss on the bottom or weeds, or in this case I threw out a boulder and this fish hit this little power tube, it's just a good idea to hit. Never leave a stone unturned, and always throw past the obstruction. Don't throw at it, but throw past it and drag your lure. Just throw it past it, then drag it up, and you'll catch a lot of fish. Okay. Wow. Fish wanted to go back to where it came from real bad. You know, a lot of times what you should do is change it up. So I'm going to put this power tube down, and I'm going to throw this bait here. It's a wacky rig flat dog, and I got a tandem hook on there with an O-ring. So let's see what happens with this deal here. Whoa, this one here has got some shoulders on it. Oh yeah, this one's got some shoulders. It's a big old dog. You know, one thing about it is, I think the biggest smallmouth in the world, at least in numbers, are here in the province of Ontario. And it doesn't matter if you're on Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair, Lake Simcoe, or even out here on Lake Ontario like I am today. We're talking very big fish. Oh yeah, look at that thing. Wow. And once again, the good old standby Berkeley power tube. And that's a 5 pound plus fish right there. That's definitely a trophy smallmouth bass. And one of the great things about fishing for these big smallmouth is that, you know, I wouldn't ever eat a fish like this. And I know I've talked about catch and release over the years a lot, but definitely I'm gonna get a picture of this and then put it back in the water. Awesome. Wow, I just weighed it and I thought that was a good 5 pounder. It weighed 6 pounds, 2 ounces. What a smallie. Awesome. Now, just want to get this fish back in. That is an armful right there. Look at that thing. All righty. See you later, big boy. Wow. Now that's what I'm talking about when you come to Ontario, folks. There's all kinds of giant smallmouth to be had. It doesn't really matter if you go to Lake Simcoe, to Lake Ontario, like we are here, Lake Erie, Lake St. Clair. They're all phenomenal. The St. Lawrence River, just fished a tournament there recently and there are monsters caught. You know, there's lots of places to stay along these great waterways. Give it a try for some of the best smallmouth fishing you'll ever have. Yeah, all right. This is a big fish. That is a fish of a lifetime. Well, that is just amazing. Look at that thing. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, man. Woo. That was too cool. Oh, man, what a fish. Look at that.